also known as Mouse. Welcome to my channel, Mouse Reads. This is where I talk about books and book-related things, and sometimes I just make 30-minute long videos with my friends, apparently, because I just edited that bitch. I'm going to be talking about my November TBR. I know I look like a gremlin, but it's because my partner's birthday and my best friend's birthday are all happening next week, and then Halloween. So I'm not going to have any time to film this other than right now. So, November is when my Clear Your Shit Readathon begins, so I have essentially created my TBR around that. So let's get this show on the road. I also want to be super transparent. My health has been really shitty, so like normally I have lights and stuff set up, like better lights set up in the front, but I just opened my blinds today, so I hope that that's fine. Also, I would normally turn my fan off, so if there's sound in the background, I'm really, really sorry, but it's too, my room gets too hot and it affects my blood pressure. So I'm trying my best to give you guys good quality videos, but my health is kind of making it a little difficult to do that these days. So, also I know you guys are probably like, didn't she just get a new chair? Yeah, mind your business. The way I'm going to go over these, it is in the order of the prompts. However, I'm going to read 2 to 3 books per prompt because I really have like 80 books left on my owned TBR that I don't have read, both physical, digital, and audiobooks. I have about 80 of them, and so I really want to knock out the prompts. There's only 24 prompts, not including the mini bosses, and so I really want to get as much of that knocked out as I can. So, the first book that I have is The Universe Has Your Back. It's a short little audiobook, and it is like a hippy-dippy motivational kind of book about mindfulness. So, there's that. And then Emergency Skin by N.K. Jessamy. This one is a Kindle Unlimited book that I got. It also came with the the new thing that Audible does where it has free books. So, that is that one. I know that it's sci-fi. I don't know a whole lot of it than that. The next books that I'm going to read are, for the secondary prompt, is going to be Raising Steam and The Shepherd's Crown, which is 2 of the books in the Discworld series by Terry Pratchett. I've owned them for a long time, but I haven't managed to read them yet. And I know that they cover the witches, and the witches are part of my favorite of the Discworld series. I read all of the Discworld series when I was a kid, most of them except for those 2. So I'm really excited to read them. Then Many Waters and An Acceptable Time. Those are both from the Wrinkle in Time series by Madeleine L'Engle, I think. I'm not going to be able to say her name correctly. But I own all 5 books, and I only haven't read 2 of the 5, and I've had them for a long time, and I really think that it's time to read them. And they're children's books, so they should be kind of bite-sized. The other 2 I have is audiobooks, and so that'll be pretty easy to get through as well. Next, I have I wrote The Druid of Shannara, but that's actually not correct, because I'm going to be reading... No, wait, maybe that is correct. I'm going to read The Scions of Shannara this month, and then next month, I think I'm October, and then next month I believe I'm going to read The Druid of Shannara by Terry Brooks. It's part of my #dad books, but it also falls under my oldest book by publication date, so I'm going to be reading that one. I also am going to be reading The Shadow Coven. It is by Nisa Leader, and it is one of the Kindle Unlimited books in her, she's like these witches, this witch series that I'm reading. There's a strong chance that I'm going to read this one and then yeet the series because I didn't really enjoy the first one. And then I'm going to read Fairest, which is the next book in the Lunar Chronicle series by Marissa Meyer. This month I'm reading Cress. I'm actually starting it today, so I'm pretty pumped to read Fairest because I think that that's also one of the, like, close to the last ones, and I think it's a novella. And then I'm going to read The Seventh Raven. I know that that was on my October TBR, but I got more arcs that are coming out in 2021, and so I had to push The Seventh Raven back a little bit. And The Seventh Raven is an arc about a girl who has to go break a curse of her brothers who have all been cursed to be ravens. And I'm really excited about reading that arc. I've had it for a while, I just haven't gotten around to reading it yet. Next, I will be reading A Tropical Fish Yearns for Snow, the 3rd book, and that is this cute little Yuri manga that I've been really enjoying. So far, I've read the first 2, and they haven't, like, it's just a very slow burn, but I'm super enjoying it, and I know that there's plenty more books in that series, and so I'll be continuing to read it even after I finish it. Then I'm going to read The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson, which I believe is part of the Mistborn series. I've heard a lot of things about the Mistborn series, and in fact I think my brother has read the series 7 times. So I, have been very well encouraged. That's part of the Books That Intimidate You, because I know that those books are really large. And then my other book for the Books That Intimidate You is going to be the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. Their books also intimidate me, but I really want to read them. And I've had the 5th season in my digital collection for a while. I just, like, every time I go to read it, I'm like, I'm intimidated, and then I don't. So the next one is Rules for Vanishing, because it falls under a scary book prompt. I don't know a whole lot about this. I remember when I first was like starting to get interaction with people on Twitter, I had asked like for people to recommend me some of their scariest books that they really liked. And this was one of them, and so I've had it on my TBR for a really long time, and then like the digital book I think went on sale, and so I purchased it, and I've just been waiting to read it. But I wanted the perfect opportunity and it never arose, and so now it has. The next prompt I think is for a pre-order that you already have, so I'll be reading A Deadly Education. After that I'm going to be reading May Cause Miracles, which is by the same author as The Universe Has Your Back, and it's like this 40-day thing where you like meditate and work on manifestation. If you don't believe in those things, that's fine, but mind your business. I've had it for a while, but I never had like 40 set days to do it. I think that since this readathon is across 8 weeks, I'll be able to knock it out. So that's my plan. And then the second Vampire Chronicles book by Anne Rice will be the next book that I'll be reading. Then Sing Me Forgotten, which is also a arc, This Coven Won't Break, and The Glamourist. All of those are like witchy feminine fantasy books that I'm really excited to read. Then The Secret Life of Addy Larue, which I'm really struggling not to just go ahead and read it now. But I have a special Owl Crate edition coming in, and so I'm gonna hold my horses and wait for that to come in. However, I really want to go ahead and read it. But I think that I'll have more fun reading it as a physical copy than as a digital copy. So that's my plan with that. Then Bruja Born by I believe Zoraida Cordova. It's the sequel of the first book in the Brooklyn Brujas series, and I really enjoyed the first book, and it was on Kindle Unlimited, so I got through that actually unreasonably fast. So I'm really excited to read the next one, especially after having read Cemetery Boys, and like I want to read Cemetery Boys over again, and I just kind of consider those books as like friends. Then The Future Is Yours, which is a another arc, and it is a sci-fi futuristic book. I believe it's by Dan Frey. I'm really excited to read it, but I don't have more information on what it's about, but I am excited to read it. After that is Truthwitch, which is a book that my friend Caitlin has been super recommending to me. She's just essentially said that it's one of her favorite book series, and the main point was like to have friendship instead of romance in the main character book situation, and that's something that I'm really interested in because I hate romance, so I'm really excited to get my hands on it and read it. Well, I already have my hands on it, right? Because that's the whole point. And read it. Then Star Daughter, which is also a fantasy book. I realized that a lot of my TBR, my owned TBR for this month, is just fantasy books that I have had for a really long time. The reason that I'm also not going over what all of these books are about is one of these prompts is read something that you don't remember the prompt for, or that you don't remember the descriptor for, and I'm really afraid that I'm going to ruin it for myself because I keep forgetting which one falls under that prompt. So I hope you guys know that most of the time when I do my TBRs, I like do my research and I actually check what the book's about before I talk about it. My memory is really bad, so I'll still like have to check. Like I'll have it on my TBR written and I'm ready, and I've been wanting to read it for a while, but I could not tell you what the book was about anymore. But I kind of want to go into this with my own TBR, just genuinely not knowing fully what most of these books are about anymore, and just like I've said anymore 100 times, and I'm so sorry. I just want to go in and kind of be surprised by the books that I already owned, and like, do I trust my own taste, you know? So there's a little bit of that like underlying challenge for me. The next one is Scapegrazers, again, for the 3rd month in a row. No, I'm not tired of reading it. The Scapecracers by Hannah Abigail Clark. You guys have heard me talk about that book 100,000 times. I will not shut up about it, and so I made it a prompt in my readathon, knowing damn well that my readathon is about only reading books that you already own. I'm like, oh, you don't own it already? Let me just buy it off your wish list for you. I literally did that for a friend. So that's the next book, and then after that we have The Abyss Surrounds Us, which is the first book in like, I think it's a duology, I'm not super sure, but it is like space pirate themed with futuristic kind of vibes, and I think that it's queer, so I'm really excited about that. And then The Lies of Locke Lamora, which is also something that Caitlin had recommended to me ages and ages ago, but it is a pirate book, and that prompt is for water themes. I was going to do many waters in the Never Tilting World, or no, that's a different series, in the Wrinkle of Time series. So yeah, that's my TBR. I would say that as general things go, that's a pretty small TBR, but it was only following the prompts from the Clear Your Shit readathon. So if I get all of those done, there's a strong chance that I'm going to continue to read some of the books that I already own and proceed from there. I know that in October I've also worked really hard to read books that I already own and not read anything that I didn't already have my hands on, so there's that. That's it. That's all I have to say. I have to go take my blood pressure now. I hope that you guys are having a great day. I'm sorry that this was not as like well set up and well organized as my TBRs usually are. It's kind of a crazy month, but I really wanted to make sure that I got this out for you guys because it seems like you guys are really interested in hearing about the things that I'm going to read. Thanks for coming and watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. All my socials are linked down below, and if you guys want any links to any of these books, I do have affiliate links, so just, you know, reach out and ask and I will provide them for you. If you want to help support me, that would be super great. That's all I have for today. I'm gonna go. Okay, thanks, bye.